Shalom and welcome to the Messiah Convergence, a prophetic roundtable meeting of brethren from the Philippines who love and serve Jehovah, the God of Israel. I've been honored to speak 2 times with Pastor Roy and Sister Silda Carandang's exceptional and enthusiastic ministry here in Las Pinas. In 2018, I explained how the Sabbatical and Jubilee Cycles reveal end-time prophecy and showed you how the 70 weeks prophecy of Daniel 9 is talking about our time now. Understanding that the word weeks is Shabuah and means the Feast of Weeks or the Feast of Shavuot. When we count the 70 weeks from the Exodus, we end up in our Jubilee Cycle today. The 120th one since the creation of Adam and the 70th one since Jehovah spoke to Moses at the burning bush. Daniel 9 tells us that in the middle of the 70th week, the middle of the 70th Jubilee cycle since the Exodus, that middle was 2020. We have been warning people about 2020 since 2005. Then, on March 11, 2020, WHO, the World Health Organization, announced a worldwide lockdown to begin immediately. Even though we knew it was coming, we still did not recognize it when it began. Later in the year, we could see the magnitude of COVID. Millions died and multiple millions got sick around the world, and this plague is still with us today. Jehovah warned us in Leviticus 26 about this 4th sabbatical cycle, that we would have war, which can also be droughts, famines, and plagues. But he specifically warned us about the middle being the starting point of these end-time curses. COVID caused supply chain disruptions to the world economy, 2020 and 2021. In March of 2021, the shipping route through the Suez Canal was blocked for 6 days, stopping all trade through that route. Russia invaded the Ukraine, February 2022, shutting down all shipping of Ukrainian wheat. NATO is now aligned to fight Russia in Europe. NATO and the USA have depleted ammunitions by sending so much aid to help the Ukrainians.
The current rate of Ukraine's ammunition expenditure is many times higher than our current rate of production.
Russia is now an ally of both Iran and China. China is also taking control of the shipping lanes in the South China Sea and the Spratly Islands. Iran is now taking control of the Strait of Hormuz, and through their proxy, the Houthi in Yemen have taken control of the entrance of the Red Sea. Algeria has also declared war on Israel, and they are at the other end of the Mediterranean and can shut down the Straits of Gibraltar. All the major rivers in Europe, China, North America, and the Middle East, and even the Amazon River dried up in 2022. 2023 was the hottest year ever recorded in history, and 2024 is expected to be even hotter. Revelation 16:9 warns us it is going to get even hotter still. Hamas invaded Israel October 7th, 2023, and Israel went to war that day. Hezbollah began to shoot missiles into Israel from Lebanon. Syria, Iraq, Yemen, and Iran began to attack Israel, opening up a total of 7 fronts for Israel to defend. Famine has grown from 80 million in 2016 to 345 million in 2023. I now know for sure I was understanding end-time prophecy correctly about the Daniel 9:25 prophecy. In 2018, I came to Pastor Roy's group, and they now know that our message is correct about 2020. Then in 2023, we were able to once again warn Pastor Roy's group about the coming abomination. We had based our understanding on the day that WHO announced the lockdown on March 11th, and then began counting the 1,280 days spoken of in Daniel 12, verse 11. This brought us to September 22nd, 2023. So I went to Israel to look for this abomination to be set up, and sure enough, in the very place we expected it, we discovered a brand new shrine to the Virgin Mary. And it was just finished. But on September 22nd, no statue was set up. What we did not realize then was that the countdown began from the time Israel stopped all corporate prayer. Prime Minister Netanyahu announced on March 25th, 2020, that Israel would go into lockdown due to COVID. 1,290 days later brings you to October 6, 2023, when they set up at the rave the statue of Buddha at the center, and you all know what happened next. On October 7th, Hamas invaded Israel. Yeshua said, when you see the abomination spoken of in Daniel, to flee and not grab anything from your home. Just flee. The surprise attack began at 6:30 a.m., October 7th, 2023. Daniel 9:27 tells us the word abomination is plural, more than one. It's abominations. Prime Minister Netanyahu would later lock down Israel on September 18th for the second time, and again on September 25th, 2020 for the third time, and all of this during the fall feast. When we count 1,290 days from those two dates, we arrive at March 31st and April 8th, 2024. March 31st, 2024 is Easter Sunday, and April 8th, 2024 is the solar eclipse over the USA, marking the final line in the Aleph Tav of the solar eclipse. "2024 is a highly significant year. It begins the final 10 days of awe, the days of judgment that lead up to Satan being locked away on the Day of Atonement in 2033. And we're told in Luke, as it was in the days of Noah and as it was in the days of Lot, so shall it be in the last days. And those are judgment days, and those judgment days lined up with the Day of Atonement in 2033. The Feast of Trumpets is the feast that comes at a day and hour no man knows, because it is determined by the sighting of the crescent moon to begin the month. There is a story about the thief in the night. He shows up on the Feast of Trumpets. That's when he comes to check to see if the priest on duty has fallen asleep. That priest on duty is you. Are you awake? Or will he catch you? Will the thief in the night catch you asleep on the job? Are you watching the fire and warding the people? This is the job of the watchman on the wall. Are you doing your job? If this thief in the night finds you asleep, then he will put coals on your clothes, and when they catch fire, you will have to rip them off and run home naked. This is the very thing we are told in Revelation 3:3 about the thief and the church of Sardis, and then again to the Laodicean church in Revelation 3:17-18, about being found naked and being found ashamed because they were not watching. All of this is related to the parable of the 10 virgins in Matthew 25. The groom is announced by Elijah, who comes before the Messiah to make ready his coming, Matthew 25:6 and Malachi 4:5. Then all the virgins wake up at the same time, but the 5 foolish don't have enough oil for their lamps. They had not prepared. Anyone who knows the holy days knows the Feast of Trumpets is the time when Messiah came the first time, being born on this day, September 11th, 3 BC. And it is the same day, the same holy day, he's going to come back on to begin judgment. 2024 represents this day of judgment, this year of judgment. It's the start of the 10 days of awe. And it ends or culminates with the Day of Atonement in 2033, when Satan will be locked away. This winter, starting October 7, 2023, you heard the shouting, the cry to wake up for the Feast of Trumpets. Our King is coming. We are now about to find out who has enough oil and who does not. The foolish went out to buy their oil on the holy day of Yom Teruah, and they did not know you were not to do business on a holy day. Had they have known the Messiah, they would have known that. The wise are then taken in with the groom. Listen to what the wise are told in Revelation 3 verse 8. I know your works. Behold, I have given before you an open door, and no one can shut it. For you have a little strength and have kept my word and have not denied my name. Revelation 3:9. Behold, I give out to those of the synagogue of Satan, those saying themselves to be Jews and are not, but lie. Behold, I will make them to come and worship before your feet, and to know that I have loved you. Because you have kept the word of my patience, I also will keep you from the hour of temptation, which will come upon the habitable world, to try those who dwell on the earth. Behold, I come quickly. Hold fast to that which you have, so that no man may take your crown. The wise are protected from the Great Tribulation about to begin in 2030. That's when the Great Tribulation begins. The foolish are told, I never knew you. I never knew you. 1 John 2:3. And by this we know that we have known him, if we keep his commandments. He who says, I have known him, and does not keep his commandments, is a liar, and the truth is not in him. Many people say they know Jesus. Many people say they know Yeshua. But does Jesus truly know you? What does this mean? What does this mean for you who are coming to this conference? It is time to wake up. You should be at a full gallop right now, racing to teach and convert those who are left all across the Philippines. The Philippines has a very special role in these last days. They are going to collect the remnant of Israel and preserve them, bring them back to the land of Israel in time for Passover in 2030, less than 7 years from now. But if they are not obeying Jehovah, then they too will be told, as the 5 foolish virgins were told, I never knew you. Jehovah struck Israel with a severe blow on October 7th, waking them up and unifying all the Jews. They now know the world hates them, as demonstrated by those massive protests around the world. The shout, the trumpet has sounded. Judgment has begun. Where does this leave you, the Filipino people? You do not have 10 years to get ready. You do not have 7 years to get ready. You must bring the remnant of Israel back to the land of Israel in 2029, in time to make the wave offering for Passover in 2030. You do not have time to buy and build your Goshen. The Philippines is Goshen. All the Philippines is Goshen for the remnant that you have to rescue. You must get the Philippine people ready. As a nation, you must obey Jehovah. You must put away all your idols. You must obey and keep his Sabbath. Jehovah has demonstrated he is not going to tolerate false worship anymore. The Philippines are waiting for his law. They're waiting for you to show them. They only come when you bring them and explain it to them. Isaiah 42:4. He shall not fail nor be discouraged until he has set judgment in the earth, and the coast, the islands, the Philippines shall wait for his law. Isaiah 60:9. Surely the coastlands, the Philippines, shall wait for me, and the ships of Tarshish first, to bring your sons from afar, their silver and their gold with them, to the name of Jehovah your God, and to the Holy One of Israel, because he has glorified you. This is not America or China. Jehovah is speaking to you, the people of the Philippines. It is now time to wake up. Do not roll over and go back to sleep. Do not think that you shall escape the judgment that is coming on the whole world. You have been called to do a job. Take heed from the warning that Mordecai gave to Esther. Esther 4:13. And Mordecai commanded them to answer Esther, do not think within yourself that you shall escape in the king's house more than all these Jews. For if you are completely silent at this time, relief and deliverance shall arise to the Jews from another place. But you and your father's house shall be destroyed. And who knows whether you have come to the kingdom for a time like this. Now is the time to speak up. Do not be silent. Who knows whether or not you've been called for such a time as this? Rise up, rescue the remnant of Israel in these last days. But if you remain silent, then Jehovah will raise up others, and they will take your place and receive the glory that you could have had. And you and your family will be destroyed with the rest of the world at this time. It is now time for the Philippines to stand up and come together unified to the flag or the banner of Jehovah. You must pray and ask Jehovah to lead you. You need the government to join with you because you need so many ships, and you must search for the remnant in hostile nations and rescue them. Then you're going to feed them, nourish them, and house them. You need the nation to worship Jehovah in unity with no idols. But you need to act and pray. It is time for the wise virgins to get to work. Dedicate yourselves to Jehovah and doing his will in these very last days. You're at this conference. Work together. You need each other, even with your differences. Work together to obey Jehovah and teach the rest of the Philippines, because those you don't teach will not survive. And if you don't do this, the typhoons that are coming will utterly flatten your islands. It's that simple. So I ask Jehovah to bless you and guide you during these days, to be with you and continue to teach you. And I ask this for the glory of his great name and all that he's doing with you. Amen.